Starfield fans, yes, all 5 of them, are angry. I wonder if this has anything to do with the fact that they're selling a single mission for $7.
A few days ago now, Starfield got a 20GB new update, and really this is the one. Perhaps one of the biggest updates Starfield will ever get, as this was the official edition of Creations, aka mod support for Starfield. And this time around,
Paid mod support for Starfield.
things are a little bit different, as Creations includes both free and paid mods, which are now available for this game. And even Bethesda's getting in on some of that paid mod action, as in some ways Starfield just got its first official DLC, although some fans aren't too happy about all of this. Mods were of course a big part of this update, but other things were added. Melee weapons.
I mean, who's happy with Starfield? Also, they added a melee weapon. Listen, Starfield, the problem with melee weapons wasn't the fact that they were only a whopping 2, or maybe 3, I'm not sure. It was the fact that they all attacked at the same rate, they all had pretty much the same animation, and all of them felt bad. Okay? Adding a tanto, which is the Japanese ritualistic knife, if I'm not mistaken, that doesn't solve anything.
Now have tiers like all of the other weapons in Starfield, so you'll be able to find better variants of melee weapons, and oftentimes this means a massive damage increase like you can see here. As well as now, melee weapon modifying is a feature, so just go to a weapons workbench.
It was not previously? Are you serious?
And you'll be able to
Also, how many Starfield players do not even know you have the ability to modify stuff? I would assume a lot, considering they never even try to show you where any of these benches are, and they're kind of hidden throughout, well, everywhere.
Increase their damage or even other stats even further depending on which mods you can apply. And honestly, this is a pretty big deal for Starfield. It's kind of a secondary aspect of this update, but it really does make melee weapons a viable build path finally. Generally speaking, this is a gigantic damage bonus for basically every melee weapon in the game. Ammo crafting was also added, and while yeah, that's a cool
Space katanas melt space armor. You heard it here first, boys.
feature in concept, this does require you to buy primers first, which makes it incredibly expensive and probably not worth it. But thankfully, not everything needs to be expensive. Like if you use my affiliate link down below to buy a Starfield display, you could even get yourself a pretty nice discount. But the major new free feature of this update was the expansion and really the proper addition of the Trackers Alliance. Technically, the Trackers Alliance was always a Starfield faction. They had those bounty boards all over that you could find.
Technically, it was always in the game. You just didn't know about it like everything else.
With this update, you can now properly join and do bounties for the Trackers Alliance.
Okay, while he was speaking, he was pretty excited getting arrested or whatever this is. And now he's kinda sad. What the hell?
As a result of completing these bounties, you'll get some unique rewards for yourself, and it even opens up access to a completely new type of vendor in Starfield. But when it comes to this Trackers Alliance content, there's actually going to be both free and paid new content available here. This new free mission is pretty sizable. You'll have to be a few quests into the game for this one to kick off, so if it doesn't show up, just play a few more quests of the main story. But from there, land at Sidonia on Mars, and a new NPC will be there waiting for you. They describe having followed our progress and are inviting us to join the Trackers Alliance for ourselves. This will take you to a completely new Aquila City HQ for the Trackers Alliance. You'll learn that they have specialists that go out to complete some of the tougher bounties in the settled systems and have dozens of members. And while the new quest is really the bulk of the new content, this new HQ is also not to be overlooked. There are several vendors here, tons of new NPCs to talk to, including No One, the current leader of the Trackers Alliance, who will basically give you the rundown of what's going on here and has a bit of a mysterious background themselves. And the new
Oh boy, that's so exciting. A character with the mysterious background. Wow. Holy.
bounty added with this one is a ton of fun. You'll be hunting down a target with the help from one other tracker, and this isn't just a meager fetch quest. It has stages, unique components, as well as a full-fledged space station dungeon that you'll get to explore during this one. I was pleasantly surprised by how fleshed out all of this content was, as there is quite a bit of dialogue and even several notes and terminal entries that you could find while doing this bounty. It still is just one mission, it's not like this is a full-on DLC or anything, but it definitely is a decent chunk of new content. In the end, you'll be left with some unique rewards. 2 new sets of armors are added with the Trackers Alliance uniform that does have the full spacesuit helmet and jetpack, but then separately.
Okay, you can make a long mission just by making someone run through a corridor for 20 minutes. Doesn't mean the mission is good. That's, I feel, kind of the main problem we're having here. A long mission doesn't mean it's good. Technically, And to just emphasize this, the start of Starfield when you start in a cave is extremely long and boring. No one likes it. The mission being long doesn't mean the mission is good.
The brand new extreme temperature entry spacesuit. You'll get this towards the end of the quest.
Also, he kind of completely dodged telling us how long the mission is, because in Starfield, something long may be, 20 minutes.
And I think it looks pretty cool, but also 2 new weapons. You'll get the unique Shipbreaker's Cutter, just like a typical cutter, but this one comes with a legendary effect as well as a unique skin on it. And far more notable is the new Arc-Mite Plasma Cutter. This is a totally new weapon in
It shoots a rainbow. Very Bethesda.
Starfield. Functionally, it's like a bigger brother to this other cutter, with the plasma variant packing far more of a punch, although sadly you can't actually use it as a mining tool. That would have been pretty cool. And after completing this mission, you'll be introduced to a new currency with Astra. You'll be able to redeem the Astra at the Trackers Alliance HQ with this new vendor for a legendary item. It seems like this could be any item, ranging from armors to weapons to jetpacks. And it's pretty simple. You'll basically find Astra.
Okay, so they added gambling. Well, that's probably the best update Starfield honestly will ever receive in its lifespan. So, yay.
Out in the world just by doing anything. It's not actually tied to the Trackers Alliance or anything. It's not like you have to be doing a bounty to find Astra. You'll just find them in chests randomly as you're doing.
Okay, yeah, so when do we get to buy Astra in the, Bethesda Steam shop or whatever?
Missions in Starfield, and upon going to this vendor, if you trade 1 Astra, that'll give you a 1-star legendary, 2 for a random 2-star, and 3 for the full-scale 3-star legendary. So this gives you a nice outlet to consistently get legendary.
So, paying 1 Astra and paying 2 Astra is stupid and useless. Okay. Great system, Bethesda.
Rolls, although Astra are pretty rare, so you're not going to be doing this all that often. And even still, that isn't all, as nearly all of the NPCs in the Tracker Alliance HQ are named, and a ton of dialogue that you can get into with them. Many of these are...
That also means you can't shoot them.
Other Tracker Alliance bounty hunters, so they can give you bounty hunter tips or even epic bounty hunting stories. They did a really great job at fleshing out this location, as there are a ton of NPCs here, and I almost wonder...
So maybe this is the real thing that those 200 people still working on Starfield were working on. Ooh.
Some of these people will be used for future content, but that still isn't all, as one of the other new mechanics you'll be introduced to during this mission is bounty scanning. So now randomly in the major cities of Starfield, you may come up against a wanted person. They'll appear in red as your scanner is open, and these are pretty simple radiant encounters. The NPC will have a generated set of bounties, and as such, a varying value depended on the severity of those bounties. So then, as you confront that person, you'll always have 2 different interactions. You could either persuade them to surrender, this being the peaceful version, and you could have local law enforcement take things over and you'll just collect your bounty that way, or alternatively just fight them and you can collect the bounty more easily. It's a pretty simple system, but honestly just a fun one to have in the background. I wouldn't say it's going to be a ton of fun to be randomly wandering around cities looking for bounty targets, but I'm sure every once in a while you'll open up your scanner.
No, people who want to play this game will have the scanner open constantly. I was going to say that this is, by the way, really stupid. Because that's what you're going to do. You're just going to run around through the city constantly with a scanner open. And you're going to see all of this garbage non-stop.
Trying to find a new location and be like, oh, hey, there's a wanted guy over there. I'll go deal with that. And I think in that way, it is a pretty cool feature. Plus, hey, it's free, which is not something you could...
Can you just shoot him without even interacting with anything, honestly?
Say for all aspects of the Trackers Alliance, because outside of some other bug fixes as well as the creation kit getting released, that is everything that was free as a part of this most recent Starfield update. And if it seemed like the Trackers Alliance was surprisingly fleshed out despite having just 1 bounty quest added, yeah, there's a reason for that. But that is going to be some...
If there's 1 quest, it's not hard to flesh out something. You probably need to write like 2 bad lines of dialogue.
Selling more bounties to you via the newly added creation system. This is all of the other major new aspects of this update. Official mod support in the form of both free and paid mods known as creations are now here for Starfield. So using Bethesda's terminology, a creation is a mod that can be either free or paid. So this new menu will open up to a mix of options. You'll find free mods right next to paid ones. Mod authors can apply to the Verified Creators program, and this will unlock the ability to post paid mods. But they can also post free mods as a verified verified creator. That's why many of these mods have little check marks next to them. That just means a verified creator posted it, but otherwise it's basically just a regular mod. And this program uses a revenue split, so once you're in, you could fairly freely just post mods up on the store, and Bethesda will take a cut of the overall revenue with you getting the rest of it. But at least as it exists right now, I know mod authors are also able to set their own prices, and from what I've heard, Bethesda even just recently changed one of their policies to allow mod authors to reuse already released content with this program, something that was not possible with the Skyrim version, which hypothetically could mean that somebody could delist a mod from Nexus Mods that was available for free and list it as a paid mod. So now, of course, that hasn't
Oh yeah, people are gonna be pissed about this.
happened yet. The system's only been out for a couple of days, but certainly is a interesting change, and I'm honestly not sure why they even did that. It just seems like there will be somebody at one point who abuses that, and it ends up being a big controversy. In order to actually purchase this content, you'll need to buy bundles of creations, or if you own the premium edition of Starfield, you'll get 1,000 creation credits for free. And that is just enough to pick up the first paid Trackers Alliance mod with the Vulture, which was made by Bethesda Game Studios and is selling for 700 credits, or around $7. But of course, you need to buy the $10 bundle to get that many points, and honestly, you probably shouldn't buy this one. The Vulture will have you tracking down.
What do you mean you shouldn't buy this one? It's almost free.
An even more dangerous and an even more valuable bounty. You actually get 10,000 more credits from this one. It'll take you to several locations, but each was very straightforward. A random camp and then some combat at the existing location of Hopetown. You're taking on some new enemies with the Vultures who have their own motives in this world that do tie into the Trackers Alliance.
Their own dumb, unexplored motives that probably make no sense and are as superficial as they possibly could ever be. Because that is the Bethesda way.
And there are some cool interactions with this. It definitely had promise as the first paid mod I was using for Starfield, as many of the intro scenes are pretty unique and fun, and the individual you're hunting with the bounty themselves is definitely formidable. Similar to the first bounty, this too has a bunch of...
So, he has 4 health bars, and you just need to hit him once, then he starts to stagger, and then the encounter is pretty much over. Got it. Great design.
Extra reading you can do, but even still, it's a very simple and straightforward mod overall. It has a bit more flavor than a typical fetch quest, but that's really it. And really, one of the biggest aspects that makes this seem like such a ripoff at 700 credits is it's so much worse than the free alternative. This paid quest is much shorter and much simpler compared to the free version, and while it does...
Okay, so I see what Bethesda did here. I had 2 theories for this one, by the way. So, they get you through the door with the new stuff that you're supposed to do, and it's like, okay, this is not that bad, and, well, this could probably be cooler, and then they thought they're gonna market the one that's for money as, oh my god, this is so much cooler than the stuff you did previously. But the other option was the Uno reverse effect. The initial mission is great, and then the paid one is fucking trash because, well, you know, you gotta hook them in, and after they buy the crappy version, it's already over.
Take you to a few locations, it'll just be gunfights and pretty straightforward interactions. There really isn't that much going on with this one. Although in the end...
Well, technically, what did people expect? It's a bounty hunt! What did you expect? A deep lore dive into the... You could actually do that, yes. But no, this is Bethesda. Obviously, a bounty hunt is just gonna be as basic as you would expect.
You are left with 3 new rewards. 2 new outfits are added around the Vultures, which I think are pretty cool. These aren't actually armors, but just typical outfits. And the real star of the show is the new Arboron Nova Strike Sniper, which is a particle beam sniper rifle. This thing rocks, it has great sounds, solid animations, and it's just generally quite fun to use. Upon first getting the weapon, you won't be able to reload it because
So you're telling me it's just strong. That's what you're telling me, because that's the reality of guns in this game. You can get a gun that feels like crap, and then you can get the same gun, but it one-shots everything, so, oh my god, this gun is amazing! No, it's just the damage number that makes the guns good or bad.
it's bugged right now, but simply relaunching the game will fix that, and you can freely reload
Obviously it's bugged.
from there on out, as well as the weapon does have several mods that you can apply to it and a weapons workbench. So like, yeah, it's a cool piece of content, but it's not worth $7. And honestly, I'm not even really sure what happened here. I feel like if they just swapped the free bounty with the paid bounty, this would be going over way more positively. The free one's just way better, so it makes...
Yeah, but if they put the paid one and make it bad, why would people buy another bad bounty hunter mission? That's the thing. And again, it's Bethesda. They didn't have the option of making two semi-decent missions that are actually not boring. No, that would require effort, and Bethesda doesn't do that.
The $7 premium one not really seem all that premium. And this entire concept is curious. I'm honestly not sure how I feel about it, as it seems like right now, Bethesda is basically implementing the...
You should feel bad about it. I'm gonna just lay it down for you. You should always feel bad about it.
Trackers Alliance as a faction that they will continue to monetize in the future with more paid mods. But at $7, this is fairly pricey by game DLC standards. And the entire system just gives mobile game vibes, as this will seemingly be a flow of microtransaction content from the developer of the game, from Bethesda.
Hell yeah, it will.
Officially. On the flip side, I definitely think
I mean, the people who are left playing Starfield are already completely over, you know? Socially, fiscally, all the types of ways. They are over, okay? They're gonna spend that money on, you know, whatever slop Bethesda puts up once again. They're gonna do it.
I think there is some merit or promise with this system. For a long time, I felt like Bethesda games could function almost like games as a service, with Bethesda just consistently producing content for them, and that conceptually I do like. Like the Trackers Alliance getting new content periodically, maybe once a quarter in a paid fashion, is kind of cool to me. Starfield's probably going to be played for years into the future, and I wouldn't hate just constantly getting new content.
Did he say years into the future by accident? That's the probably funniest part of the video.
Content from Bethesda. The problem is the content's not worth $7. The value proposition from this one just sucks, and particularly when the free variant is so much better, it really makes the Vulture just feel like a cash grab. This is the opportunity to vote with your wallets though, so if it doesn't
Like everything Bethesda does.
sell, we'll likely see prices change in the future, or perhaps the entire system end. But in all likelihood, this is something here to stay. In the future, we'll be buying microtransaction bonus missions for our single-player games. But hey, at least compared to Creation Club, this content actually has some custom voice acting, which honestly is a major improvement. The Vulture was the main thing implemented, but Bethesda did add several more creations beyond that, and some of these are free, so basically just official mods made
Plushies, $3.
by Bethesda. There's a new blackout drumbeat skin, and this one's pretty cool. It makes the gun look a lot more slick. An observatory that you can build at one of your outposts. Unfortunately, this is non-functional and will really just be a prop you can build in or
What's the point of an observatory if you have a star map?
around, but I mean, hey, it's a free mod. And easily the coolest of all is the Starborn Gravis suit. There's a brand new legendary Starborn spacesuit that's just going to be added into your room at the
Oh, who doesn't want to be a Starborn? They're super cool.
Lodge. It's great looking and has a built-in jetpack and everything, but damn Bethesda, we really got to work on that implementation. Like, come on, we couldn't have just had a short quest to get this one? Or, I don't know, make me craft it or something. But there's also going to be 2 more paid mods from
Well, no, you need to understand that there's value in the shop and shit.
Bethesda. The Constellation plushie set will be 300 points or about $3, and this will implement plushie decorations for each companion in the game. These look fantastic. The Vasco and Sarah ones
Why are all the plushies blackish? The hell?
in particular are just
Why?
awesome. And yeah, I would probably buy at least one of these in real life. And the one I think a lot of you are going to really love, a $10 ship module. Okay, that's somewhat of an exaggeration, but also kind of not. This one spaceship part costs $10 of real life money. It is a
Good. Make it 15. They deserve it.
1,000 creation credits to buy this. Basically, it's meant to be an old world ship module, so all of the furniture and decorations within are themed around old world things. It very much so gives you pirate ship vibes with a ton of wood paneling all over. But in addition to the
Because only pirates use wood.
furnished hab that you can place as a part of your spaceship, you can also build an unfurnished version, and you'll also unlock all of this furniture to place down on spaceships or even in your outposts. It's definitely a bit rich at $10, but you can think of this more as a stuff pack that happens to all be distributed via one spaceship part. Still a bit of a ripoff, but not quite as
Amazing. Even Juice is saying everything here is a ripoff. You gotta love Bethesda.
bad as just $10 for one spaceship part. At least you get a bunch of furniture
Let's
to place
move
down
on.
too. But creations in general have a pretty massive problem because they just get treated like mods. So as of right now, any creations that
Well, what are creations if not technically mods?
Aren't made by Bethesda will disable your achievements. Want that cool new follower? Well, you can without turning achievements off and paying $5. It seems like
Oh
some kind of
boy.
review process would obviously
Wait, did you just tell me cool follower? What the fuck? What is this? Is the follower's special quest finally, ending it in a closet with a broom and, a leather belt? I hope so. What the hell is this?
help with this. Achievements stay on for balanced mods and stay off for cheatier ones. But as of right now, that is not the current implementation. And as you look around, you'll discover that any paid mods not released by Bethesda officially will disable achievements. It actually doesn't really say this. You'll just see the Bethesda mods say they are achievement compatible. And overall, this stuff isn't going over super
So
well
Bethesda's just lying.
with the community right now. There is an influx of negative reviews on Steam. Only a few hundred, but there's definitely a major trend.
Well, it's not a few hundred matter here a lot because that's probably literally half of the player base. Let me actually check. Starfield Steam charts. Let's look at the player numbers. 5.7k. What a time to be alive. Let's check 1 year data. Wait, that is the 1 year data. What? Oh no, it's 7 days. Oh, we can't check 1 year. We can only check all time. Okay, so let's check 3 months, 6 months. So this is the release, then it steadily started dropping, and it has constantly been on, peak time, like maybe 10k players. What is this after? Oh, this is the. Okay, 10k players is after the Fallout TV show, because Starfield was, I think it was also on discount, wasn't it? And now it's a whopping perfect, 6 to 10k, it seems like. So yeah, this matters a lot, because that's literally almost half your player base telling you, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Shift, and that's really bad because Starfield is already trending quite negatively. It's the worst reviewed Bethesda game on Steam right now, at least as far as mainline games go. So seeing some of these review scores drop even further and even more dramatically is just bad. Starfield needs
No, it's good. It tells publishers, it tells gaming studios that we don't want to eat slop. That's good.
a turnaround, and part of that would be the review score picking up, and we're definitely not seeing that with this. In addition to the reviews, you could find a bunch of Reddit posts as well as lots of people online talking about how frustrated they are with this implementation, with most pointing at the Vulture implementation and how Bethesda seemingly is going to be just releasing microtransaction missions for their single-player game. Thankfully, when it comes to mods on the free side, things are going quite a bit better. We've already seen an influx of mods for Starfield, and hey, get subscribed because I'll be making mod videos coming soon.
Oh,
you have
boy.
bug fixing options right now, you have some Star Wars mods already flooding in, and of course, those faithful early day Batman mods. And with the official
Well, that's very cool. Anyway, that was juicy. That was Starfield, boys. As always, disappointment at its finest. So, yeah. $7. What a time to be alive. Bye-bye.